By a raise of hands, how many of you have ever been called creepy by a woman in the past? Probably like 95% of you, because it's not your fault. Listen here, it's mostly because, well, women throw the word creepy out pretty easily to men, and almost anything men do is considered harassment. Women are fragile creatures, and us as men, we're so chill and laid back that honestly, I can't remember the last time I called a girl creepy, or ever, really. Gold digger? Yeah, I've called it, but creepy? Never. But they'll call us creepy for anything that we do. And in order to save yourself the embarrassment and harassment lawsuit and self-loathing that you're gonna have when your crush calls you creepy, I'm gonna give you the 6 common things that most men do to girls that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to side with them on a couple of these. They're pretty creepy, and it's mostly because you're nervous. So if that sounds interesting, let's hop into it. Number 1, the stretch over. Trying to be smooth. Almost every dude that I know of has done this at least once in their life. You just dove right in, made it look like an accident, which women then just found creepy. To avoid this, you need 2 things. First, you need to learn how to read a woman's cues, her body language. If she's flirting back with you as you're engaging, chances are she already wants you to close that personal space between you and her. And number 2, once you do decide to do it with assurance and confidence, and not the stretch and reach, which just looks insecure. Number 2, you're wearing too much cologne. You see, when guys tend to pile on cologne, there's 2 things that women are thinking. 1, this guy is giving me a headache, and 2, this guy has something to hide. In other words, you probably smell bad and you're using cologne to overcompensate, or you're just so shy that you think cologne is gonna close the deal between you and her, both of which are a bad thought for that woman to have in her head and why she is being creeped out by you. The reality is, boys, that when you use fragrance, you wanna do it with taste. You wanna do it with class. In other words, 1, 2, maybe 3 sprays at most is more than enough to lure women in and be seductive enough so it's mild only when you're in close proximity. Once things get heated, both body temperatures are rising. That fragrance is going to start coming out, and that's just going to draw her in closer and closer. This is when it kicks in. And if you want to do it right, you want to make sure you're using the right fragrance. Now, fragrances, they tend to be expensive, but thanks to our sponsor Scentbird, you can get it for $15 a month. That's right. Usually you would have to go to the department store and pay like $100 a bottle, and then if the fragrance didn't work on you, you'd have to buy another one. With Scentbird, you're gonna get those same high-end designer bottles and fragrances and brand names, except they're gonna be delivered to your door every month for only $15. They give you a month's worth of supply, or at least that's what they say they do, but the reality is that each bottle has so many sprays in them, it's gonna last you more than a month if you're using the tip that I'm telling you of only a couple sprays. The cool thing is that then you're gonna be able to build a collection because you're gonna be receiving new fragrances every month and experiencing new tastes and new designers. Stuff that you probably would have never bought or thought of buying because you didn't know about him. Thanks to Scentbird, they put him on your map and help expand and diversify your scent. So women, well, you keep her on her toes. You keep her guessing. Kind of like clothing, you don't wear the same clothing for every situation. Well, just like a fragrance, you wouldn't wear the same fragrance in every situation. And right now, boys, if you guys click the link down below, you guys can try out Scentbird at 35% off. At this price, this is pretty much a steal that you could try the first month just so you can see how amazing Scentbird is. For example, this month, I was using the Man Blue by Mercedes-Benz and the Cambridge Night by English Laundry. These are 2 fragrances that were sent to me by Scentbird that honestly, on a personal level, I would have never bought. I didn't even know about them. Since they sent them to me and put them on my map, now I love them. I love how they smell, and I added them to my fragrance collection. You could do the same, boys. If you guys want to check out Scentbird and see their entire collection of high-end fragrances, they have all the designer stuff that you could think of. There's going to be a link down below, and on top of that, use that code, boys. Take advantage of that. 35% off is over a third, meaning it's going to be a complete steal, and you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. If you guys want to check it out, it'll be linked down below. Number 3, catcalling. You gotta understand that women generally are paranoid, and while you're technically giving them a nice compliment, on the receiving end from women, this is seen as aggressive. You're gonna scare her off, and now she's gonna find you a creeper. Borderline stalker, to be honest, because the reality is you need to understand that your goal as a man is to make women feel safe and comfortable. That's when she opens up to you and she's gonna give you those digits, and when you can actually drop a compliment because she's gonna be receptive to it. Number 4, texting her, "Hey beautiful," out of nowhere. So many guys do this in the early stages of talking to a woman when there has been no sexual connection to her whatsoever. So smooth wannabe guys would pull up their phone, think that they have to build the courage to drop a "hey beautiful" text to a girl, and now she's just gonna receive this on her end and be like, what the hell is this? Now she's creeped out because she has no idea where it came from. Stop being the guy that's dropping early compliments on girls when you haven't built any sexual tension between you and her in a personal level. You want to make sure that you've talked to her already in person in that way, that you've built that connection already, that she knows that you have some sort of interest in her. From there, flirting over text, it's simple. Anything earlier than that, you're a creeper. Hey, beautiful. I call that the finger tap, and you felt how creepy that was? Say you're at a bar, and the woman is facing the bartender. Men are gonna come extremely close to her, tap her on the shoulder to get her attention. Now she's creeped out, and you look like a weirdo. You broke two primal rules here. First of all, you broke the touch barrier before you even incited a conversation with her. Women do not like to be touched if they don't know you. And number two, you have no idea what personal space is. If you are just getting to know her, you wanna keep at least 2 to 3 feet of personal space between you and her as the conversation is flowing. A simple way, or a way that would have been 100 times better to approach this, would have been a simple lean on the bar to get her peripheral attention, and they just say something simple like "excuse me," and then flow the conversation from there. And finally, the sixth thing that makes you a creeper is that you don't approach once you've made eye contact. The reason that staring is creepy is because there is no action following it. You just stare, and that creeps women out. You look like a serial killer. Once you make eye contact with the girl across the room, make sure that you go ahead and approach her. Holding off and continually staring back and forth in a course of 15 to 20 minutes is just weird. However, if you catch her locking eyes with you once, maybe twice tops, that's your answer right there. This girl has some level of interest in you, and you should go ahead and make the approach to not look like a weirdo. And that's basically it for this week's video, guys. Those are 6 things that so many dudes do that make them look like creepers. If you guys liked this video and found it informative, don't forget to drop us a like down below. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Scentbird. They're gonna be linked down below as well. That's it for me today. See you next time.